All right. We're there. And in the upper right, we got the most decorated player in Warcraft 3 history, the DreamHack Anaheim champion. It's Moon. And in the bottom left, WGTL champion from earlier next year, part of the most successful team alongside Lin and Lawliot. It's 120.
Can't wait to see what these players will unfold here in this best of 3. I really hope we're gonna break the 2-0 streak here, by the way. I want to see 3 maps between these two geniuses. And what do the geniuses start off with here? We have Happy build, which is nowadays the standard against Night Elf on the top level. Against Moon, opening up with a normal Ancient of War creep and a Keeper of the Grove. Last time I saw these two here in Concealed, Moon was able to win that game with Mass Archer and a Demon Hunter. He's switching up the strategy. He's going again to Keeper, which normally means Expo Mass Air.
Yeah, I would suggest the same. Like, especially if we see a Hunter's Hall, and that's it. So it's the WGL strat. It's his new idea to this matchup. Possibly. Maybe that will not be the case at Tier 2, but so far, everything looks like it. In the Winter Bracket semifinals, we have seen 120 styling on his opponent a bit, haven't we? Against Pink, he was playing the Dreadlord, for example. He seemed to love the Dreadlord. But now, if it's against Moon, it's not only about the playoffs, it's not only about the prize money, it's also about prestige and this rivalry.
Oh, the Keeper steals the last hit. Big mistake by 120, not calculating the coil properly. Didn't have enough damage on there. And that is a massive deal. This experience swing. Wait a minute, is he killing the Acolyte here as well? It's gonna cost the Keeper a TP probably, but it kills the Acolyte. If he loses another, he has to probably cancel the tech. Scout Acolyte is coming back. Oh my god, 120! GG. How long was that game?
That was... Let me check. Oh my god. That was, dude, I got it now, 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh my god, I just got up to grab a juice and I came back to my computer and I see a victory. I'm like, what? I had to see it like really fast. Oh wow. So he stole a creep and like apparently 120 thought he was too far behind to...
He lost 2 Acolytes as well.
Oh, okay.
During the tech.
You know, 2 days ago when they played on Conceal Hill, Moon played Demon Naga. This goes to show how ready he is, like 2 days later, to completely switch. And he won that map as well. So he just switches it up entirely and wins pretty quickly. Moon doing what Moon does best, winning games and playing different strategies.
Did 120 not see with the Scout Acolyte the first hero? Normally you're always supposed to look for it, obviously. But I'm not sure if you actually saw it. Neo, were you on the vision with the Scout? Was he so surprised by this Keeper?
I'm not sure, but it definitely looked like it. The Narrow Tower was very late as well. He seemed to be completely surprised by this and overwhelmed at the same time. Usually... there's not much that can throw off a pro player like this. Like, they've seen it all, they played against it all.
And this was because of the sick read also by Moon. Of course, getting the last hit really enabled him to put pressure on there. But that alone wouldn't have been enough. It also takes the brilliant mind of Moon saying, oh, you use a lot of your coils trying to get the last hits. You use 3 coils already. You're out of mana for about half a minute. You can't heal. This is my window to go for Acolytes. Even if I have to TP, it's easily worth it if I get 1. And if I get 2, I may win the game right there. And he did. Sick play.
And next map is Last Refuge, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
And so, like, when they played in AWL 2 days ago, Moon played Keeper, Expansion, Mass Air into Demon Hunter second, and he won that map as well. Like, quite convincingly, too. He played Keeper Hunts into Demon Mass Air. it's crazy the level of versatility that Night Elf has reached. Sometimes it did feel one-dimensional and that you had to play only one style, you know, like they kind of felt like they were like bottlenecked into having to play a certain or specific thing, but Moon is like completely throwing all of that out the window. At this point, he's just got a whole plate of colors, a canvas, and he's ready to paint any strategy that he wants, and he's doing that super well and still being successful.
Yeah, the one thing he hasn't mastered yet is the Warden, who is definitely the least reliable hero. She's possible on some maps, Twisted, Terranus, maybe Echo, although I would say not against good undeads. But even without the Warden, he has a wide array of strategies. And yeah, he's looking really impressive. 1-0, but he knows this first map went wrong really fast. We gotta check for the yellow color.
Yeah, this was a statement win by Moon as well. Like, after these close series, just destroying him here. And I wonder what the mindset of 1-0 is now. Like, okay, this series is gonna be too rough. Like, let's see what the lower bracket can give me. But then you're up against probably Lin, probably Lawliot, probably Infi. You don't really want that, that's for sure. So the top seed here is super important, and he should throw everything in. It's not impossible to turn a series around. Concealed Hill was Moon's pick. Next map is 1-0's pick, and then it's neutral ground.
Well, Twisted Meadows is not exactly neutral grounds, but
Well, in the hands of Moon, yeah, of course. But 1-0 is definitely
neutral when he was using human heroes against the.
In the break, I thought, do I want to bring this up? I'm like, no. Let's not poke fun at Todd. But yeah, Moon is really good on Twisted Meadows. Let's put it that way. And Moon looks super strong today as well. His toolbox against Undead is filled to the brim, and nothing is set in stone here so far. 1-0 can't be sure of anything in this series. So where does Last Refuge lead us? Okay, in the bottom left, 1-0, trailing a little. In the upper right, Moon having one of the best days so far and the quickest victory of this tournament. In the upper right. Okay, Remo, what now?
We have the same opening builds, but the early game should still look a little bit differently. Normally the Undead here nowadays actually playing quite aggressively and may not be going for as much creeping as it is the case. Wait a minute. Is that Ancient of War late?
Looks like it, right? The hero's just starting.
So it's Keeper again against DK. I'm a little confused.
Alright, it's also a graveyard again. No ghoul build. No expansion build. Just straight up so far. Yeah, this Engine of War. Right, will it line up? He won't have the archer. Right? Oh. Might be getting it. Is
I
he
don't know if I'm
just
just
harassing?
confusing myself. But this must be late, right? Like
Yeah.
normally the archer is out and you almost kill the first ogre warrior already by the time the hero comes out. So yeah, this Ancient of War is definitely late and he's going without archer.
Can he rush harass and creep with... He's skipping the archer.
Hunter's Hall quicker. Okay, so you save the gold and a little bit of lumber from the archer. You can still harass this, or creep this, excuse me, just with the Keeper and Treants. And you go into hunts right away. And then probably the expansion. You see? NA and OC, they were right all along.
They
Keeper
were.
hunts it is.
Exactly. Yeah, they're ahead of the curve, man. What can we say? So this game, by the way, will be longer than the first one. I think it's fair to say we're 30 minutes. Like in 30 seconds, game 1 ended.
Yeah, that will not be happening here. Thank goodness. This build by Moon, very interesting. He keeps on innovating, man. He keeps on perfecting. Just love this guy. Seeing this guy play. Moon has the resources to tech now if he wants. Of course, it's still late because of the Huntress build. Oh, but he delays it even further to get the first Hunters out and Ultra Vision really early. He wants to have Ultra Vision right away when the first nighttime hits.
Okay, and he got the right track here. 1-2-0 in the north. But 1-2-0, there's nothing to do for him here, right? I mean, 4 skeletons. Ideally, you want to go for that High Priest, but not with Moon nearby.
He could go for the High Priest and could secure it, but he would take a lot of damage, so I guess it's not really worth it. Undead healing is still not easy to come by on tier 1.
It's a solid harass, though. Not level 2, no entangle. Especially when you go Fiends, it's a little more freedom for you in the early mid-game stages.
I think 1-0 is super fine with this early game. This keeper is not leveling. He's stuck on level 1 here for a long time. It's the classic last refuge problem. We see that against Orc all the time. We even see it against humans sometimes. Keeper isn't off to an easy start here, but once he has a couple of hunts, then creeping can certainly continue. Today
is such an undead fest, by the way. We see 1-0, we see Happy, we see X-Lord, we see Vortex. Like,
that's the 4 best undeads in the world.
Probably, right? Ghouls move out.
Sorry, WFZ and Michael, but yeah. You have to stay behind those guys.
Ghouls move out to creep the merchant.
That's a really cool creep route, man.
Yeah.
That's one I should write down.
Exactly.
Should make it in the next Remo special creep routes video.
I was about to say, like, if Remo special, like, the Remo from Remo special creep route is baffled by a creep route, it tells her that's quite some special stuff here. And a big mana potion as a reward. That he deserves.
A player's forces are under
Perfect
attack.
find. Tier 3 still comes in rather quick. So 1-0 now has to decide either Slaughterhouse or Lich first. I always feel like Lich first is the better option because you can then start leveling him right away. But no, wants to go Slaughter first to get the statues out soon. Also good. And the Keeper is now entirely left by himself. And I think that's the right choice, right? If there's Keeper and Hunts, you probably shouldn't be playing aggressively into them. And this is a hard choice now for 1-0. Where does he creep and how does he still ensure that this Keeper isn't getting out of control?
Well, the Keeper is getting level 3 if he kills these skeletons. Good split. But Hunts to the left, Keeper to the right. Will they expire before? I doubt it. They're pretty fast though. 1 skeleton is enough. Okay. That changes a lot. Staff from the Keeper onto the Hunt to save his tree.
And there I wonder, might it not have been better for 1-0 instead of this cool creep route to keep on pressuring the Keeper when he was level 1, use those coils to steal the last hits? Because now he's up against level 3 Keeper, he can't cancel this expo anymore, and soon the masses will be coming in. Moon has reached tier 2 already, he's going with the double wins, it has been scouted. And it's the Demon second again. A hero that requires level more than the Alchemist, but if he makes it to level 3, is also a lot stronger than the Alchemist.
It's also pretty good that he got Hunts with this, so creeping with them is kind of cool, kind of easy, kind of fast, thanks to the normal damage and the area of effect. So what's next for Moon? 1-0 still needs time to get online, that's for sure. Where are his Fiends? We see 1, we see 2, we don't see Web yet. Statues, he keeps them so safe. Just like Orcs do with Grunts against Entangle, showing again the strength of this spell.
Dude, I am so sure, by the way, so many Night Elves are gonna pick up exactly this build against Undead. So I'm already trying to figure out what the proper counter build to it is, but I haven't figured it out yet. I would like to see Happy play against this, please, so we can see the answer. Creepjack coming in here now. Moon with the Demon Hunter level 1 mana burn, not that good, but decent enough. And the Keeper is chasing. He is the strong unit right now, the strong hero right now with the level 2 Entangle. Would love to get the surround here on the Lich. Entangle for unit. Surround does get it. doesn't mess it up, and TP out to save this Lich. But it's a lot of creeping prevented for the undead.
Yeah.
Forces are
Not too many things going 1-2-0's way, right? Like, nothing is a disaster as it was in game 1, but it's also not the big moments. Of course, he got the Potion of Greater Mana. By the way, without this Magi Snipe, where would he be in this game? Like, he's still far away from 3. He's kind of far away from 2. And Moon got the Expo up. His tech is in a good shape. His heroes are in a good shape. He's forgetting about a Wisp, maybe, though.
I think against this Keeper Hunt's opening, maybe you should go Ghouls in the beginning, get level 2, and then pressure. But that theory crafting I will leave to the other ones to see how other undeads will reply to this strategy. And of course, it's by no means over. 1-0 is pushing here towards the Expo. But he's 2-1 levels only. It's 3 Fiends, 2 Ghouls. Web must be finished. He's going for a second Crypt already, expecting to be losing plenty of Fiends and wanting to be ready to replace them.
Does have the Destroyer to dispel the Entangle. That's big. Illusions could distract him a little. And now let the kiting games begin. How fast are the dispels? First one was good. Forces a coil immediately. Web in the right places. The ghouls won't escape, I guess. And the Demon Hunter is putting in some work.
Putting in great work. DK is out of mana. No more coils unless he pops the big mana. Which was, of course, an amazing find. Holding on to it still, but loses the first Fiend for it. Perhaps a mistake here on 1-0's micro. Next Fiend getting focused. Destroyer, the spell is there though. And Moon doesn't want to overextend. He lost 1 Huntress, but he won't lose more thanks to Mana Flare form. Took out 2 Ghouls, lost 1 Huntress, drained all the mana by the DK. Good engagement for Moon.
Yeah, and it's looking more like a 2-0 if you ask. Like, what is 1-0 supposed to do?
Oh, and Moon grabs the Merc Camp. That's a perfect creep camp to take now. Big item. It is scouted, however. If this is solo experience for the Demon Hunter and gets him level 3, that's just brilliant. Yeah. I think it was solo experience for him. Item on the ground. Belt is really good for the Demon, actually. You want to ensure he can stay in the front line and make him as tanky as possible. And of course, it's also Mercenary Access. Moon at 56 supply. Getting engaged upon again. First web comes out, focusing on these fairies. But it's not that many Fiends yet. He's not sniping these Pharons really quick at all.
Right? This is just... It seems like the only player who's losing units and HP is 1-0. 1 fairy falling now, but 1 coil ending up in nowhere. No man's land. The Fiends are already at 50%. Nice little fairy dragon form to burn these statues. And Moon is just pushing him away. Just like that.
I think this is it, guys. Keeper Demon Hunts Expo. This looks so strong. All you Fra Night Elf whiners, look at this game and keep quiet. This is the way you do it. Once again, Moon is the guy to show it to the world.
It's crazy.
And now, yeah, looking to be in an almost unlosable situation, getting more and more upgrades. This is also the amazing thing about this Huntress build. You have the Huntress Hall already, and you can upgrade the fairies. 2-0 already. Damage is their problem, but now they're doing more and more DPS. And once you get to like 70 supply, suddenly these fairies become really dangerous.
Feels like these best of 3s are oftentimes way more one-sided than the best of 5s between them that are highly competitive. He's just killing 1 Fiend after the next, and that's even without Acid Bomb. I thought for a long time Acid Bomb is the key in this matchup for Night Elf because it reduces the armor so much and that adds to a lot of damage from these fairies. But Moon is of course a whole bunch smarter and showing us the way to play this without him, but with more disable against the undead. So if he doesn't have any mana for coils, it doesn't really matter if you need 1 volley or 2, and damage isn't an issue.
Beautiful, dude. We've been getting poetry into this cast. I love it.
I'm almost stunned at how one-sided this is.
Yeah, Moon, he cooked up the perfect build in his lab, and 120 was not ready with the perfect response. The next time these two are gonna meet is gonna be really fun, because then 120 will have his chance to lay out the perfect creep route, the perfect pressure play in the early.
A player's
But we're
forces are
seeing
under
the
attack.
cutting-edge development of this matchup right before our eyes. It's quite fascinating, to me certainly. Even if this game is now very one-sided. But it's not hopeless. We have seen high-level undead heroes turn games around in the super late game. That was always the weakness of the strategy, but that is the brilliance by Moon. He adds in the Demon Hunter, and with that, with the mana burn, he takes the biggest late-game strength away from the undead player.
Yeah, in case the Lich is not plus 30 damage, and then he can shine and he can be the carry. But his inventory is looking rather poor this game, and so does the help of these fiends. We do get Burrow now, which is a nice addition, but it's just Moon's unit all over 120 again.
120 splitting pretty well, minimizing the damage as much as he can, but he's also losing a statue here. Normally you always want to keep the statues and the heroes alive, kite back with the fiends, lose as little as you can. He took out a few fairies here, but Moon is still at 63 supply.
It feels like when other Night Elves are playing, it's one or two groups of fairies that are all targeting the same unit. Just in this fight in the bottom right, we had a group of fairies targeting the Destroyer, one group targeting a Fiend, one group targeting a statue, and another group with heroes and Treants were harassing the heroes. Like, this is so much multitasking in this fight. Holy.
Yeah. There was definitely a bit of keeper patch laziness that we saw with Night Elf Mass Air for a long time, but Night Elves have gotten better over the course of the development of this matchup. We also see it by Foggy nowadays, who oftentimes splits off like 3-4 fairies to just attack the statues at all times. And of course Moon is doing it even better. The king of the Night Elves, who finds now the Ancient Django, which is amazing, which is a bit of that movement speed nullified that the Undead usually has as his big advantage.
Also the positioning by Moon, right? Like, he knows, okay, you can either beat me with incredibly high hero levels or a sneaky counter expansion. So he moves in between the two spots, scouts a bit. Of course it's what 120 is doing. He punishes it hard, then he goes to the shop, is getting ready for the next fight, has a heal scroll now, and of course he knows where 120 is now because that's the only big spot left on the map.
And again the mana burns come in. The mana burns make the difference.
No TP.
Yeah, he's stuck up here.
No spoilers,
Destroyer's
but
still
life
alive,
ends
he
here.
can get out of entangles, but fiends are still falling. It's so many fairies now, 69 supply, nice. And more kills going Moon's way. This DK kill would be the end of this game. Death Knight just barely gets away, whew, 26 HP, but leaves the rest of the army behind, also without the aura. That should be the end of the Lich, and it is. GG is called, and Moon shows us the way, and he gets the 2-0.
And the 2-0 streak continues. Once again, we're being